Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to put on our detective hats and solve one of the most common grammar puzzles out there, the case of the mismatched pronoun. Let's dive right in and crack this thing.
So, let's start with our first clue. You've probably heard a sentence just like this, right? Maybe you've even said it yourself. And, it sounds fine, but is it actually correct? We're about to find out, and by the end of this, you'll know for sure.
All right, so the main culprits behind all this confusion, they're a kind of shifty group of words we call indefinite pronouns. Yep, these are the troublemakers. Because they're a little vague by nature, they're almost always the source of these grammatical mix-ups. So what exactly are they? Well, an indefinite pronoun is a word that doesn't point to one specific person or thing. Think about it. Words like anyone or something are super general. And because they aren't specific, figuring out which personal pronoun to pair them with can get tricky.
To solve this case, we've got to profile our suspects. And first up is a group I like to call the singular squad. Now, the one thing you need to remember about these guys is this. They always work alone. They are always singular, no exceptions.
Here's our first lineup. You see words like everybody, anyone, and each. Now, I know what you're thinking. Everybody feels plural, right? It just sounds like you're talking about a bunch of people. But, and this is the key, in the world of grammar, it's treated as one single group. That's the crucial detail you have to remember.
Let's see how this plays out in a real sentence. Neither is on our singular squad list. That means it needs a singular pronoun to match it, like her. So neither gave her report. See? A perfect match.
Okay, next up, let's profile our second group, the plural posse. These guys are way more straightforward, trust me. They're always plural, and they always travel in a group.
And here's the lineup for the posse. Several, both, few, many. When you see one of these words, you know for sure you're dealing with more than one. These guys make our detective work easy. And here's the evidence. Both is obviously plural. We're talking about two boys here. So the personal pronoun that follows has to be plural too. In this case, their. Both presented their essays. Simple, clear, case closed on that one.
All right, it's time to meet our final and, honestly, most mysterious group of suspects, the chameleon crew. These pronouns are the real masterminds of confusion because they can literally change their identity. Sometimes they're singular, and other times they're plural.
So the key to cracking the chameleon crew is to look for clues inside the sentence itself. For words like all, most, or some, you just can't tell if they're singular or plural on their own. You have to look at the noun in the phrase that comes right after them. That's your clue. Let's see these chameleons in action. Look at the left side. Most refers to cornmeal. That's a single, uncountable thing. So we use the singular pronoun its. But now look at the right. Most refers to tigers. That's a plural noun. So we have to use the plural pronoun their. The context just changes everything.
Okay, detective, you've seen the profiles, you know the rules. Now it's time to put those skills to the test. Let's see if you can spot the correct pronoun in a real police lineup of sentences.
First one's up. Does anyone in a computer club have own computer? What pronoun do you think fits in that blank? Think back to our suspect profiles. Which group does anyone belong to?
If you said his or her, you are absolutely correct. Anyone is a card-carrying member of the singular squad, so it needs a singular pronoun to go with it. Nice work.
Let's try another one. Only a few of the soldiers returned from blank attack on the fort. What's our key word here, and which pronoun should we use?
The answer is their, and the clue, of course, is the word few, which we know is always plural. It's part of the plural posse, which makes this an easy match.
All right, here's the real test, our final suspect. All of the water had leaked out of container. All is a chameleon, remember? So what's the specific clue you need to look for here?
And the correct answer is its. But why? Because all here refers to water. And since water is a singular, uncountable noun, the pronoun all becomes singular too. You've cracked the chameleon's code. Fantastic work, detective. You've successfully analyzed all the suspects, you followed the clues, and you cracked the case of the mismatched pronoun. So let's just do a quick wrap-up of what we learned. Here is your official guide for cracking these cases every single time. First, you identify your indefinite pronoun. If it's from the singular squad, you match it with a singular pronoun. If it's from the plural posse, you use a plural one. And if it's one of those tricky chameleons, you just look to the noun that comes right after it to find your clue. Which brings us all the way back to our opening mystery. Is everybody needs to bring their glove correct?
Well, technically, no. Everybody is singular, so the traditionally correct answer is everybody needs to bring his or her glove. Now, let's be real, you're going to hear people use their all the time, and it's becoming super common as a way to be more inclusive and just sound less clunky. But if you want to be strictly by the book, his or her is your answer. Case closed.
So you've just mastered one of grammar's trickiest challenges. But really, it's just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other rules that we hear broken every day are just waiting for a good detective like you to come along and solve them? Until next time, keep investigating.